Today, you are going to get the unique insights of a college student by viewing David's video journal. You will see him progress through the phases of Marcia Baxter-Magolda's self-authorship theory. Baxter-Magolda's methods of research focused on longitudinal studies at Miami University. She followed students during their college tenure and many years beyond. Her research methods consisted mainly of detailed interviews, following 31 subjects over 2 decades. In the upcoming videos, you are going to spend some time getting to know David. You will get a glimpse into his cognitive, interpersonal, and intrapersonal development over his 4 years at college. Over that time, he asks himself, how do I know? Who am I? How do I want to construct relationships with others? It's through these reflective questions that we get to watch him develop. Now for the exciting part. Let's watch David as he experiences the first phase, following formulas, in his freshman year.
Hello, Internet. I'm David, and this is my life at college. So yeah, I saw something today that was kind of shocking. I was at Starbucks with my friends, and we saw these two guys holding hands and flirting, and it it was just a little weird. Mom and Dad said this type of thing would happen at college, and they really encouraged me to avoid these types of situations. But I mean, I was just going to Starbucks. I didn't really seek this out. Um, I mean, that behavior is just not natural. It's not the way is. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Um, I mean, when I saw them, I felt pretty uncomfortable. I mean, this is not something I've seen before with my own eyes, at least. I've heard of it. Um, my friends made some pretty awful comments. I mean, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to the guys. I didn't say anything to my friends. Um, I mean, I don't support gay relationships per se, but I guess the couple wasn't doing anything to hurt anyone. But really, I didn't want to rock the boat with my new friends. I mean, we had just met at orientation. Why would I want to start criticizing them and everything? I mean, who wants to be that guy that calls out their friends? But it's just weird. Like, I know my parents would not be a fan of this. But, anyways, I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye.
As David just started college, he was used to relying on his parents and peers for guidance. While he had physical distance from them, they still made an impact on his thoughts and views. Internally, he was asking, how do I know? And his answer may have been, my parents. But his own sense started to challenge that. With his new community, he was looking for approval, not quite having a sense for his own desires, nor hearing his own voice. Let's take a look now at David in his second year and see how he experiences phase 2, crossroads.
Hi, Internet. So, long story short, I saw a guy in a dress. Now, in the past year, I've definitely seen more gay students around campus, but this was different. I was with my friend Danny, and she definitely saw my surprise and explained that that student might have been transgender or possibly a crossdresser. When I told her about last year and the first time I saw those gay guys at Starbucks and the things my friends said, she asked me why I didn't speak up, why I didn't tell my friends that they were being rude. I got so mad, like, why is it my responsibility to protect these people? I'm not homophobic, right? And why should I make my friends feel homophobic? They were the first people to be nice to me, and I'm just going to throw that away to make some sort of self-righteous comment and make my friends feel bad about themselves? But still, I guess I always say I'm a good person, so maybe I should have stepped up back then? I also don't really see those friends anymore, anyways. One of them called Taylor Swift overrated, and let's just say it went downhill from there. Well, I guess I just have a lot to think about. I'm going to get back to my studying. Bye.
You heard David challenge his internal beliefs, questioning who he is and what he believes. He is starting to listen more to his own voice. At the same time, he is experiencing tensions between new and existing relationships. David is more than halfway through college, and he is allowing his personal experience to make more of an impact on his development. Let's watch him work through phase 3, becoming the author of one's life.
Hey, internet friends. Well, that was definitely an experience. My friend Taylor and my roommate Ryan mentioned that they were going to this event held by the Pride Alliance here on campus, and they wanted to know if I wanted to go along with them. They also mentioned that their friend Kyle was making fresh baked cookies, so I figured, why not? When we got to the event, I saw Kyle's cookies, but I also saw tons of cake. Cookies and cake. Boy, was I glad I had decided to attend. So it turns out that the cakes were actually part of the activity. It was something called a gender reveal party. Apparently, parents to be will have these parties where you cut into a cake and it is either pink or blue to represent the sex and gender of the baby. Well, the Pride Alliance wanted to bring awareness to different issues of gender identity and gender dysmorphia. So when we cut into the cakes, yeah, you could have just pink or blue, but some cakes were tie-dyed with both colors, and other ones were orange, green, and purple. It was very fun and very colorful. If you don't believe me, check out my Instagram. After we gorged ourselves on cake, they had a panel with different transgender and gender nonconforming students talking about the different issues they deal with. Now, these issues spanned way past the typical discrimination and harassment that I expected. It was really amazing to see the community and support that these students have found with each other. Kyle, Taylor, and Ryan were explaining all the different terminologies the whole time, and it was really nice to get to hang out with them and learn. I feel like I can really be myself around them and not be judged. It's definitely a fresh feeling. Well, I guess that's all for today. I'm gonna go see if Ryan brought home any extra cake, because, you can never have too much gender cake. Bye.
As David is exposed to new information, he is starting to answer his own question of how do I know? He is willing to go out of his comfort zone to learn something new and be okay with these beliefs that he is developing for himself. David is in his last year of college. Will he become a master of Phase 4, Internal Foundations? Let's find out.
Hi, internet friends. Long time no vlog. Well, I thought I'd just, senior year, come and check in with you guys, and actually, I have a story to tell. So, today I was in my sociology class, and we were discussing LGBT rights and some of the different things that are going on, either in current events or in history. So, we talked about the Stonewall riots and everything that went on with that. And one of my friends who actually, I don't know if I would call him a friend anymore. So, this guy I knew from freshman year, I've talked about those friends before, is actually in this class. And as we're talking, he raises his hand and goes, and basically says that now that gay marriage is legal, why are they still complaining? I don't know what came over me, but I immediately raised my hand and brought up the daily discrimination that LGBT people face, and the fact that in many places you can still be fired simply for being gay. After I spoke up, someone else raised their hand and discussed how even though LGBT culture has become more accepted and mainstream in some ways, this hasn't been comprehensive, and particularly LGBT people of color continue to be left out of dialogue and attention. All of a sudden, we were having this very high level, productive conversation about what needs to happen next and what does it mean to normalize LGBT experiences. I can't help but think that I prompted this amazing discussion, which feels pretty good. There's so much more for me to learn, and I still don't understand everything about different genders and identities and all the diversity within that community, but in the end, they are people. I've always been big on empathy and supporting others, so why wouldn't I support LGBT people? Love is love, and that I definitely believe. Well, I think this is going to be my last vlog for a while, so bye, friends.
David sees his beliefs being challenged and feels comfortable enough in his own skin to stand up for something he believes in. He is showing signs of development in Phase 4. He does recognize, however, that there is still more to learn and is open to expanding his knowledge. There is much more to come on his development journey. While we only had a very small window into David's college experience, there were some factors we got to witness that showed his development of self-authorship. Throughout the years, David learned to listen to and trust his own voice. Each experience gave him new knowledge, which provided a foundation for further development. While he became more confident in what he believed and practiced, he still has an opportunity to more fully commit to completely mastering his own self-authorship. This is typical, as most college students do not reach Phase 4 until many years after graduation. This was discovered in Baxter-Magolda's research at Miami University. Marcia Baxter-Magolda did much for spelling out methods of application for creating programs to help college students develop their own self-authorship. Student affairs professionals must keep in mind, however, that her research entirely focused on a single population at one university, with admittedly limited diverse characteristics. Baxter-Magolda's methods relied on qualitative, thick research case study, but did not offer up a comparison with regard to other dimensions. While she had a mix of males and females, she did not mention if there were differences in development based on gender. There is plenty of room for research to validate the beloved and important theory. Many researchers have looked at additional identity characteristics and how they affect self-authorship. We will check in with David at another time to see how far he's come in his own development of self-authorship.